Good afternoon, and welcome back to the One Celtic Fans View. We are live. Jeez, have we been live for 2 minutes? I didn't think so. We'd been live that long. Surely not. Missed the start of the video, Baz. Anyway, good afternoon. Welcome back to the channel. It is a massive day today. Celtic fans have made their way down to Kilmarnock, and some are still making their way down to Kilmarnock. We're running a bit late, but it is a game where Celtic will need to be at their best to regain top position in the league. Yes, Aberdeen are currently sitting top of the league, as we all know. We've all looked at the league this morning and went, Celtic need to win, don't they? It's as simple as that. But Celtic need to win anyway. As we're sitting waiting on the team news, we'll jump into the comments section just to see what people are saying. In the comments section, Diane was first in. PS3 Retro TV, right, Baz? I'm good, mate. How are you? And Nicholas is in. Morning, Baz. Sean is in the house. Kieran Douglas is in the house. Sean's going for 3-0 Celtic. That's the scoreline I'm going for. James is in the house. Richard Scott is in the house also. Is this a game where Brendan Rodgers has spoken about rotation? Is this a game where we really need to rotate the players, or is this a game where the manager ultimately just needs to play his best team? He just needs to play his best team, and I think he needs to play the strongest team possible. If he's got a couple of weeks now until the next game, there's no need to take any risks whatsoever today when it comes to the strength of the squad. I mean, we all like to see the players getting rotated, and I think that there will be a shock if any of the players are dropped. There was a couple of players carrying niggling injuries, and well, not injuries, but knocks, Brendan Rodgers said, and he said we'll see how they are tomorrow. But then they've been in training yesterday, and there's nothing being leaked from Celtic as yet. There's nothing being leaked at all, which is good in one sense, but the fans will be sitting with anticipation, just waiting on the team sheet being put out by Celtic for the Kilmarnock game this afternoon. Let's jump back in to the comment section. There's a lot more people jumped in. Dave says, alright, Baz, for the Molten Provos. Afternoon, Baz says, Big Des, he's going for 3-0. Paul McEwen's going for 4-0 Celtic. Gary McQuaid says, hill, hill. Anthony says, Baz, it's a must-win game. Hill, hill. It is. Every game's a must-win game. And I think that Brendan Rodgers knows that he has to play the strongest team, because if he doesn't play the strongest team and we drop any kind of points, it's a funny season this season, because looking over the past, I mean, there's been times that Celtic would have dropped points by this time of the season. They would have drawn a game, or they've drawn one game, but we're on a fine vein of form. But so are Aberdeen, and that's what makes this sighting a bit more exciting. I mean, they are really going for it. And the fact that they managed to get a draw with Celtic in their game, I mean, they're right up for the fight, and it's a good thing. It's great for Scottish football. But ultimately, Celtic will be champions in come May. It's a given, and it is a given. And Aberdeen fans will be left bemoaning the fact that they ran us so close. Also, Rans, get it up, you're no voting. Big Des says afternoon, he's going for 3-0. Paul McEwen's going for 4-0 Celtic. Jenny McQuaid says hail hail. Anthony says Bads, it's a must-win game. James says good afternoon. Thomas Connolly says walk in the park 5-0 on a plastic pitch. Will it be 5-0? It was 5-0 towards the end of last season. Will it be 5-0 again, Thomas? Gary says he'll everyone. Sorry, you've been not well this week. I hope you're okay, Gary. I hope you're okay. Mick Boy says 4-0 for the boys the day. Paul says morning all, Celtic men and women. Gary says hail Baz. Alan Weir says hail, he's going for 6-0 hoops. A lot of you are going for high score lines. They will sit back. Kilmarnock will sit with 5 at the back, I reckon. Big Dom says play Adam Ida as a target man like we did when we won 5-0. Big Dom, I think you're in for a shout with that one. Brian's going for 4-0. Lucian is going for 3-0. And it's just jumped away up. Let me just get back to that. I hate it when they jump away up like that. the comments are coming in that fast and furious that they just jumped away. Just give me a second just to get back. That's a way down. International break follows recovery for the Cluggers assaults, which I expect. Callum McGregor's old man was in my local last night, Shettleston Road. But nothing but praises. McGregor will be playing today. We all know that he'll be playing today. That'd be an interesting chat. You'd love to sit and chat to McGregor's old man, because you could sit and talk to him about everything that the sacrifices that they, and people forget about this. I'm seeing it with my cousin and what he's going through just now, and what he's went through for the last 8 years, just to get his son into the under 18 level at Scotland, and for the Scotland national team. And the family go through a lot. The family sacrifice a lot. You know, can you imagine his dad back in the day taking Callum to training and every single week? And it's the family that make the players. Ultimately, the player has to have the ability to play football, and he has to have that ambition to succeed. But it's the people behind them, you know, the player's family, that sometimes as fans we forget about. And sometimes when we can bemoan and when we can sort of think that a player's not as good, you know, you've got to remember that player has a family, and his family has feelings, and his family have went through a lot. And I just think that'd be an interesting conversation to have with Callum McGregor's dad, sitting talking about the young Callum McGregor and what he went through and what the family went through. That'd be a fantastic interview. Fantastic. Somebody will go and steal that. The Celtic City Mind will go and steal it and go and get the interview. Watch this. But anyway, Rab Nixon's going for 3-1. Dave Morton's going for 4-0. Gary Haycroft's going for 2-0. Spacey is going for 4-0. Northam is going for 5-0. Afternoon. But I'm going to jump through the comments because I need to jump over and see if the Celtic team has been released. It's going to be released in around about 30 seconds if Celtic are on form like they usually are. I'm just waiting on the team coming out any time now, and I've lost my page that I was going to upload it to. See what happens. I've just tried to delete a lot of stuff, and I've just closed down the wrong page completely, just as the Celtic team is about to be announced. And just by magic, the team isn't out. Come on, Celtic, you usually got it out by now. I'll come off the page and it's like they'll put it up right now, won't they? Anyway, chat amongst yourself till Celtic get their finger out and release it. Come on, that's it. That's it. There's the team. Schmeichel, Johnston, Trusty, Scales, Taylor, Cameron Carter-Vickers hasn't made the team. Greg Taylor's stayed in the team. Greg Taylor retains his position in the team today. There's 2 changes at the back. Cameron Carter-Vickers is out. Taylor is in. Scales is in. Callum McGregor, Engels, Hitati, Kuhn, Dyson, Maida, and Adam Ida, as expected. Kyogo has been dropped from the team. And in the subs, Sinisalo, Kyogo, Alex Baye, Yang, McCowan, Bernardo, Forrest, Ralston, and Welsh. That is your team today. Just give me 2 seconds. I will get that up onto the screen as always. And we kind of thought that Brendan Rodgers would go with some changes. And we thought he would go with Adam Ida up front. He has, which is good for Adam Ida, because it's going to be one of those games where they're going to be throwing tackles in left, right and centre. And you don't want Kyogo to get any kind of damage to him whatsoever. I'll just get that in line with there. And then just download this. Give me about 10 seconds. And we'll get that up on the screen for you. Done, transparent, download. So Cameron Carter-Vickers hasn't made it. Cameron Carter-Vickers has not made the team. He has not even made the bench, which has there be a reoccurrence of the Cameron Carter-Vickers injury? And will Cameron Carter-Vickers now not go away with the American team? Will he not go away with the American team because of the injury? Let me just get the image. Is it that one? Yep. And just up here, upload, and the team is on the screen now. There's the team on the screen. Tell what you think about that in the comments. It's breaking news, big breaking news. The fact that Callum McGregor Callum McGregor is obviously captain. Cameron Carter-Vickers hasn't made the game at all. Been there myself, Baz. I think 3 boys, Nicholas, Jay and Zach, travelled all over to watch my boys on the bench. Hard graft his parents, says Big Des. Yep, it is that. I hope Mikey Johnson gets a start, says Gary. Oh, jeez. Cameron Carter-Vickers and Plastic Pitches don't agree on Robert Kelly's doorstep. Must watch on YouTube, everyone. And on Robert Kelly's doorstep, brilliant. Must watch on YouTube. There you go. No surprise. No, I don't like that. No surprise that CCV on the plastic pitch. I think the surprise for me is Alex Baye's been dropped again. With Greg Taylor, maybe it's the manager saying, look, Greg, you're a valued player. I want you in the team. I want you to sign this new contract. The closer it gets to December and he doesn't sign the contract, what does it say? What does the manager do? What does the manager do? Anyway, I hope Celtic scalp them today. Leave McInnes with Killie Pie on his wee hun face. I was going to say pus. Leave on his purse. Is it a shock, the team news? Is it a shock, the team news? Let me just see if I can get we'll try and get it to go along the bottom also. Nope. So I think I was taking ages to update the website. It's unreal. Let me just do this. Nope, nobody else has got it yet. I must get it up quicker than anybody, the team news. Anyway, good team in your opinion, says Chill Pill. And I think it's a team that has definitely got goals in it. I mean, we always knew that Adam Ida would more than likely start this game. You want to start Adam because Kilmarnock players, they're big players at the back. They would just run straight into Kyogo. And will it be a case of the same as before? Adam, Ida and Hatate to score 3-0 Celtic. But as from the governed Republicans, bring out your black and tans. I expected Yang and Palmer to step up today, said Big Dom. Not a chance, Dom. Not a chance. I don't see... It was a step too far, Brendan Rodgers, making any more changes than that. If you think about it, Kuhn and Hatate are in fantastic form. Why wouldn't you play them today? They've got an international break coming up. They'll get a rest. I wouldn't have chanced that. You're going to play your best team possible. And this is when it comes back to as well. We're talking about this morning about younger players and the inability of younger players to see a pathway into this first team. Well, when you look at Ralston and Welsh, I mean, they sit on the bench every single week. I mean, Welsh doesn't get a game for love nor money. You've got... I mean, that's the only ones that are... You've got Alex Baye, Ralston and Welsh on the bench today, so there's not even any room for Mark Nobrowski, Big Mark. I mean, he's not even going to get on the bench. Sinisalo, Kyogo, you'll see Kyogo coming on for the last 15 to 20 minutes. Well, Alex Baye come on to give Greg Taylor a little rest, depending on how he's going. I mean, you've got Yang and you've not even got Paulo Bernardo. Let me just see. Yep. Palmer's been dropped, hasn't he? Palmer's been dropped out of the team altogether. So if the manager's going to make changes, he's dropped Lewis Palmer out of the team altogether. So Palmer's not even on the bench. It's Sinisalo, Kyogo, Alex Baye, Yang, McCowan, Bernardo, Forrest, Ralston and Welsh. It must... That's a big shout that Lewis Palmer has been dropped out of the teams completely. I don't think there was anything wrong with him. I think the manager knows no Palmer, not even on the bench. Robert, yeah, he's not even on the bench, which is a strange one. But I think that it will just add to the speculation that Palmer will be off. Hopefully it's nothing more than that is tactical by the manager. I think it is all tactical. When you look at the changes, I think if anything, Luke McCowan might come on, Bernardo may come on just to freshen up the midfield, taking off Hatate and Arne Engels in the second half. I think that would be a good shout by the manager. He's not going to take Callum McGregor off, not in a game like this. There's more chance of Hatate and Engels coming off for McCowan and Bernardo. When it comes to the wingers, could he bring Forrest on towards the end? Forrest knows how to cut inside and score goals, but the three up front were always going to be the ones that would start for me today. The big shout is obviously Trusty retains his position. Scales has come back into the team because Cameron Carter-Vickers is injured, and Alex Baez kept his place on the bench after Greg Taylor stepped up to the mark for the Champions League. And I think it's just a way of the manager rewarding Greg Taylor for everything that he's done, and keeping him informed that the fact that he does want him to sign this new contract, and it is in his hands. It's basically in Greg Taylor's hands. Let's jump back in. January exit for Palmer, says Big Dom. Stammer out, Rogers in. The winter window is top class left back and another striker will do the business. Why do we need another striker when we've got a striker that's absolutely firing in goals for the B team? We're talking about another striker, and I think if we've got any ambition to try and keep any of the young players at all, we need to promote the young Cummins from the youth team into the first team, and you have to start integrating them into the first team and showing them that pathway. There's no use going out and buying another striker, and then what are you going to spend on a striker? Another 3, 4, 5 million? Or when you can bring someone in that's banging in goals for the B team, and you're going to say, well, that's B team level. He's never going to get first team level chances if we don't play him. So I'm all for improving the team, but I'm also one for making sure that the youth that are at the club have a pathway to coming through. And if they don't, we're going to lose another player. Going by all the speculation yesterday, looks like Palmer's off. Baz says Lucky 15 Voodoo. Does it look like he's off, or is it just going to be the case that he's maybe got a little niggling knock that he's picking up his shoe, or taking his selfies for Instagram? Hi, I'm Lewis Palmer, superstar. Anyway, Ross Fitzsimmons is going for 4-0 Celtic. He'll Baz. Dave Morton 67 says he's putting him in the shop window. Taylor out. Sorry, Baz. Is he putting Taylor in the shop window? I think if Taylor goes away with an international team, that's a big enough shop window for Taylor that he needs. He doesn't need Brendan Rodgers putting him in the shop window. I think if Taylor gets a game with Scotland, that's, he's in the Scotland squad, that should be the shop window that he's trying to get into. But then again, the Scotland manager will probably more than likely not play Greg Taylor, so maybe you're right about that. Big Des says just over an hour troops, don't allow that, but I'm buzzing more than Derek McInnes. Jesus God. Palmer lost his gran a few days ago, so maybe he's back home for the funeral, I'm guessing. Well, that would explain that. So we can take the speculation right out of the box that he's leaving. If he lost he's lost his gran, he's maybe went back home for that. So there we go. Fair point points, I'll get back in my box. Brian says he's going to go for 1-0 Celtic. Oh, a close 1-0 game. It's been a while since we've had a 1-0. I don't want 1-0. No. Right? No. We do not want 1-0s, because when we look at the league, right, if you look how many goals that we were about 15 or 16 goals in front of Aberdeen. I mean, we're sitting 12 goals to the good. Aberdeen are biting into our goal tally week by week, and that could be a thing that the Aberdeen manager's saying to them, just keep on winning by big results, and slowly but surely we'll start eating into Celtic's goal difference. And then what the Aberdeen manager will be saying is, it's not a sprint, it's a race. So we keep on improving week in, week out. We keep jumping into their goal difference. The time we get to the end of the season, their goal difference could be disappears altogether, and we could be sitting with maybe even a better goal difference than Celtic. And then that would put us in pole position for the end of the league table. But I suggest that Celtic will go out and score an absolute barrel load today, just to get some natural order. Just to get some natural order back into the league table and to increase the goal tally as per normal. I think that it is good that it's close in points, but Celtic need to do the utmost and score goals. Who will be the first on the goal scoring today? Tell me in the comment section who you think will be the first goal scorer today. I think it may be Rio Hatate. I'm going to go for Rio Hitati first goal. I'm going to put that in the comments so that we've got it in writing. Rio Hitati first goal. There we go. Afternoon Baz and the Hoops, says Magnus. We need to sit tight at the back and take our chances 3-0. JT Boy 67 is going for 4-1 Celtic. Brian Hunt's going for 3-1. James Sargent says, hi, Mayboyle. He's going for 3-0 Celtic. Get into them, no missing, just get right into them. Neil says he's going for 4-0 Celtic. Joseph Docherty says, okay Baz, let's hope rest in CCV. He thinks 5-0 or 5-1. We have to score as many as we can. Joe from Little Ireland. Hello mate, how's it going? Says Kenny. It's going absolutely fantastic. It's game day. Well, it is. Is it going for that? Nah, I had the balls up earlier. I was doing some work on a project, and I got right to the end of it and I wasn't happy with it, so I'm just going to scrap it all and start again, to be honest. That's what I was doing earlier, after being in the garden this morning, and it's nice and sunny and warm outside, and I'm sitting inside. Hello mate, yep, just spoke that, Kenny. Rob says, Guacamacas, we should have kept him. He's better than Adamida. The grumpy Greek wanted away. Why are we still going on about the grumpy Greek? The Greek even. He wanted away from Celtic. You know, he wanted away. You can't keep a player that wanted away, so there's no use talking about him. Nobody was saying this about Adam either. The last part of the last half of the last season, do you know? Anyway, it is what it is. We've got to stop talking about players that we don't have anymore. It's like everyone going on about Matt O'Reilly and the Matt O'Reilly love that's going about. It's like he's not a Celtic player. Who cares? He's moved on. We've got the cash in the bank. Do you know? It's like gone. Forget. Do you know? Anyway. Joseph says that this is the time for the lads to be around the first team to learn the pace of the game and the confidence. Yes, it is. But when you look at the team who does Brendan Rodgers drop from the team to bring in? I mean, you could bring him in as a third. I mean, I agree bringing Daniel Cummins in, right? But when you've got Kyogo on the bench, you've got Alex Baye on the bench, you've got Yang, McCowan, Bernardo, Forrest, Ralston and Welsh. Ralston and Welsh are there as backup. There's very rarely does Welsh get a game. For me, you can understand that he's wanting on the bench. The manager will say, right, tactically, we have to have one player for every position, just in case. I mean, we can move players around, but just in case anyone gets injured. When you look at the bench, we've got Trusty and Scales, right? The only player that we've got on the bench is Welsh that can step in. If Trusty or Scales gets injured today, we've got Welsh coming in. Stephen Welsh. That's how bad we are just now. And I don't mean in a bad way, but Stephen Welsh isn't a Cameron Carter-Vickers level, is he? He's not even Trusty level. He's not even Scales level. But it's Welsh that we've got as backup today. When you look at, who do you drop out the squad players that are there to bring in the young guy? I mean, the manager's always going to go with Kyogo. He's going to bring Kyogo in. You're not going to drop Kyogo. Do you sit with two strikers on the bench? We don't play two strikers, and I think this is and this is why I don't like the formation that we play, the 4-3-3. And for me, I would play a 3-5-2. In domestic football, Brendan Rodgers needs to be able to change the system, and I know that managers like to have their system and the 4-3-3 and it works, and you get the wingers coming in and chances of scoring goals. But in Scottish football, we should be playing 3-5-2, and we should be playing two strikers up front. I think that we would score more goals. I think it would go back to the good old days when we had the likes of Larsson and Sutton and John Hartson. We had three fantastic strikers then, and we rotated them about. We took one off. We rotated the strikers then. That's just my own personal opinion. I think that the modern game, I mean, all it takes is one manager to go, I'm going to do a new formation, man. I'm going to do a new formation. And it's going to be like 4-3-3. Oh my God, why is he going 4-3-3? What's that all about? Do you know what I mean? And it's like, fuck, Jesus, I'm going to try that. And it's like, just play your own game. And it's like, play what suits the style of Celtic. And 3-5-2 ultimately suits Celtic to a T. It's just my opinion. We've got a new member, Sean Smith. Welcome to the Celtic Fans View. I need to do a members video this week at some point because we're going into that international break. And there could be I was going to try and do a members only live, but there's no point really, because it's trying to get all the members on at the one time, and there's only 60 odd members, 60, 70 members. So, but anyway, we'll do some other content for the members only. So welcome to the membership, Sean. Kenny Logan says, how's it going? It's absolutely fantastic. GT Boys going for 4-1 Celtic. Kenny thinks that we'll pump them. Andrew Kirk says, hi Baz from sunny Almeria. Almeria? What is it like down there? No, seriously, what is it like down there? Because it's like we're going to move from here. We're going to move from here. We don't know if we're going to move up further up the coast or further down the coast. It's a decision that we're going to have to make, but not just now, in the future. Anyway, Kevin, so Andrew, yeah, it would be good to see what it's like down that way. Kevin says, we need a strong performance today, Baz. Hopefully we'll have the game won by half time. I don't think we'll have it won by half time. Derek McInnes is too shrewd a manager to he's not as good as the Aberdeen manager though. The Aberdeen manager can make some fantastic changes at half time. So yeah, hi for Dunfermline, watching the boys. If the Seven Kings, what a fantastic, I missed the Seven Kings. I used to stay in Dunfermline years and years. You're talking 14 years ago now. Brucefield Avenue. Used to stay down at Brucefield Avenue, right beside the train station. It was great because you could just, in those days, you could just walk up for Brucefield Avenue, get the train into Edinburgh, and it was $5.60 return. $5.60 return into Edinburgh, a few beers, back home, last train, Bob's your uncle. And I hope you enjoy the game at the Seven Kings. Kenny says that lineup has been put out. Has the lineup been put out yet? I put Bernard. The lineup's on the screen. There. That's the lineup. Hey, I just make stuff up. That's it. In fact, I'll get it going across the screen for you because Celtic have bound to have updated. Yeah, they have. Late as ever, but never mind. So what we'll do is we'll also get the official team along. No, I'll put the subs because you can see the team. So what I'll do is I'll put the subs and going along the bottom of the screen just to show that we at the One Celtic Fans View are all interactive. There we go, and there's the subs going along the bench. There's the subs. So the team is the big block that you can see. It's Michael Johnson, Trusty Scales, Taylor McGregor, Arnie Engels, Rio Hatate, Nicholas Kuhn, Dyson Maida, and Adam Ida. On the bench, we've got Sinisalo, Kyogo, Alex Baye, Yang, Luke McCowan, Paulo Bernardo, James Forrest, and Tony Ralston. And then the only defender that we have is Stephen Welsh. You see that? I'm doing it going along the ticker tape. Is that not cool? Interactive or what? But anyway, we are sitting on a nice little jump with the subscribers today. Thank you for all the brand new subscribers. We are on 19,617. Trying to get to 20,000 before we play the Zombies in December. We've got about a month to go. Can we do it? It's looking like it'll be the end of December, but with a little push from yourselves, and I totally appreciate every single one of you that do subscribe to the channel, and even the ones that have unsubscribed. I appreciate everyone that watches the videos, but people can do what they want. Anyway, it's just a metric that would get right up there and just make me nice and happy before the zombie game. Right, let's jump back into the chat and see what people are saying about that. Come on, DM, you owe us. This is the first time for the lads around the first team. We spoke about Baz. I've done that one. We just jumped in there. Hatate or Adam Ida to score. Adam Ida to score. Herrera, says Davey. I think he's meaning Hatate. Derek's going for Adam Ida to score. Andrew Kurt's going for Adam Ida to score. Trevor McDonald. I'm going to call you Trevor McDonald. He's gone for Scales' own goal. Kuhn first to score. Adam Ida first to score. Rio Hatate first to score. That was me. Just reading my own comments. It's just one of those things, isn't it? Can someone with a calculator tell me how much money in total TV included if we go out the Champions League at last 16? If we get through to the last 16, we'll have made around about 30 we've made around about 30 to 40 million in the Champions League, about 40 odd million, depending on TV deals, depending on ticket sales and all the rest of it. It'd be in the region of 40 odd million. If we get through to the last 16, if we automatically qualify for the last 16, meaning if we finish in position 8 or above, we then get a payment of £9.2 million. 9.2 million just for getting into the last 16. If we don't go directly into the last 16, if we go into the playoffs, so that's between position 9 and 24, we then get a payment of, I think it's around about 2.8 million for those 2 games. So each one of those games is worth 1.4 million. That's just the money that's the revenue from UEFA. If we then managed to get through the 2 playoff games and then qualify for the last 16, which we're hoping we can do, we then get that 9.2 million. So there's lots of ways that Celtic can increase their turnover within the Champions League, and the money, I mean, when you're looking at that kind of money, it's phenomenal. So Celtic will try their utmost to try and finish 8th position or above. If not, we'll finish between 9th position and 24, which isn't bad. You know, there's a lot of big teams, but then you've got to basically, I don't know if it's going to be a league format or if it's just going to be a draw and then you play each other home and away. I'm not sure how that part of it works. I'm not sure at all. I'd just be making stuff up if I did. I'd call it an exclusive and then go blah blah blah. Anyway, Adam Ida first goal. JJ is going Rio Hatate. Adam Ida says Kevin. Johnston, Ali Johnson to store says Kenny. One to Celtic, 4-1 says John. Keith Roberts says Maida will score first. It's going to be 4-1 Celtic. Kilmarnock first goal says Joseph Davison. That means that'll be from the edge of the box or the outside of the box, and it'll be an absolute screamer, which means that it'll more than likely be towards the later half of the first half of the game, and they'll be pegged in, and Callum will be, come on, we need to start shooting. He'll see the clock ticking down, and Callum McGregor will take a shot from the outside of the box, and it'll go screaming into the back of the net. Yeah. Anyway, don't know if that happened, but if it does. Anyway, Gary says Mikey Johnson hat-trick. Mikey Johnson hat-trick, he's going for. He still thinks that Mikey Johnson's at Celtic. He's been living under a rock. He might be a Rangers fan in disguise. But anyway, I'm kidding. Arne Engels penalty. Oh, now there's one for the bookies to put on, isn't it? Arne Engels penalty. Kuhn first 4-0 game, says John. Big Des says Brendan Rodgers will have completed another block of games just before the international break and be more than happy with outcomes since the last break. Yes, Big Des, and we're all starting to understand that the way that Brendan thinks, and he's got the team thinking and small achievable blocks. You know, win this block, do our damnedest to achieve our goals in this block of games, and we keep doing that throughout the season, and that's what gets the big prizes, you know. So anyway, Austin Trusty for the first goal. Oh, that'll be a header. That'll be a header for your corner. Adam Ida is awesome, says Mappy. Sean Smith, welcome to the One Celtic Fans View membership. Scales was good against Atalanta. Yes, he was that. Big Baz Adam Ida will score, says Joseph Doherty. Afternoon, Baz and fellow Tims. Drop Forest. How can you drop Forest? The experience that James Forrest, but I've spoken about this before, the experience that James Forrest brings to a team is second to none. The experience that James Forrest brings is not just on the pitch. It is in the dressing room. It's in the dressing room before games. It's being able to talk to the younger players in the squad. We always why drop James Forrest when you always need a level of experience and what it knows to win it, and and the younger players don't know when it gets to the pressure end of the season and pressure in games. James Forrest and Callum McGregor and such have been there and done it before, and that experience is invaluable. You cannot go out and buy that experience. You can promote younger players inside the system, but they're not at that level yet. They need the older father figure within the game, within the team, to bring them on. So for me, I wouldn't drop Dean Forrest. I'd keep him at Celtic just for that. Anyway, can't see any more than one player moves on. Thank you for your service. Yep, says Andrew. He can't agree more. Once a player moved on, that's it. Thank you for your service. We move on, and that's it. Stephen Johnson says, hi, Baz, and every other Celtic fan. How are you today? Scotty Boy says, hi, Baz, from sunny Cowdenbeath. That bus for Cowdenbeath. Now, that's a bus and a half, innit? Is it still as mad as ever? Is it still as mad as ever? That's a cracking bus. Cowdenbeath bus. Anyway, Monty says need to lay off Welsh, Baz. He's a decent lad, and I don't get on his back, but you know he sits. He's a cracking lad, and he's all about Celtic. He signed a 5-year deal last year. You know, he knows his position. When I talk about Welsh, I'm talking about a Scottish player that knows his position within the team, and he knows that his game time will be limited, and he's more than happy with that. He's more than happy with that. There's not once would I ever say that Welsh is going to leave the club, like some bloggers have said on Celtic websites. They've said that exclusive that Welsh wants to leave. No, he doesn't. Welsh knows his position within the team, and I think that's fantastic. But he struggles to get game time, and that's my only concern for him as a player. Other than that, Welsh is a brilliant player. He's not as technically gifted as some of the other defenders that we do have, but he knows his position within the team. Anyway, Kaiser says, hail, hail, legends. So Monty, I hope I've explained myself. Kenny Logan says, you heard Yang was really good when he came on against Leipzig. Is it true? Yeah, he was. The whole team was good against Leipzig, so it's hard to sort of say anything bad about anybody against Leipzig. Sean says, can't believe that Vickers is back out already. CI the first goal, Baz Kuhn goal and an assist for 4-0. I think that it's more a precaution. I think it's more a precaution with Cameron Carter-Vickers. It's better to have him out this game on that dodgy pitch rather than play the game and get injured and then he's out for even longer, especially when you've got Champions League games coming up. So times like this, it's more than likely Brendan Rodgers is thinking, do you know what, I don't want to risk Cammy. We've got a lot of big games still to play. We've got potentially 6, potentially 5 if we finish the top 8, but potentially 6 or 7 more games in the Champions League if we get it right. Now just think about that. We've got another potential we've got 4 anyway, right? We've got a minimum of 4. We've got a potential 6. If we get it right, we've got a potential of 5 if we finish top 8. But if not, we've got a potential 7 further Champions League games. So Brendan Rodgers has to sit and think and going, I don't want any of my players out for the period between December and the end of February. I want to keep everyone at peak fitness, and if it means dropping out Cameron Carter-Vickers for an away game on a plastic pitch in Scottish football when we've got trusty Scales and we've got Welsh in as backup, I'm more than confident with those players. Brendan Rodgers has already said it. He says that he gave Welsh his chance the first time around. He brought him in through the youth system. Give Welsh his chance. He trusts him, he knows him, he likes him, he values him as a player. He knows what he can give Brendan Rodgers, and he says, I'm more than happy. Brendan Rodgers will be more than happy with that. He's got those 3, which allows us to rest Cameron Carter-Vickers because of the potential 7 games in the Champions League that we've got to come in the next couple of months. Anyway, let me just jump back into the comments. Big Dom says, Brendan likes to control the ball. 3-5-2 would suit his style. I don't think Brendan. I think that it would be a fantastic way to see Celtic playing with 2 strikers up front, but Brendan won't change it because he'll see that the midfield, your wingers would then, because you've got the 2 strikers up, your wingers would be further back, and he likes the wingers to get a bit further forward. But I think that the 5 in midfield would allow you to still have a strong 3 midfield. You could still have Callum McGregor. You could still have. I mean, it would mean dropping a defender. So who do you drop? Do you drop Greg Taylor or do you drop Alistair Johnston. Now, you're not going to drop Alistair Johnston, but the way that the Celtic team plays is that the fullbacks become inverted and come into that position. Now, it may change if Greg Taylor leaves. If Greg Taylor leaves, it means that we don't have a player that can play that role as effectively as Greg Taylor. So, is that then the point that Brendan Rodgers saying, okay, now it's maybe time for a little change of the tactics, a little bit of change to the team setup. Let's see how we go 3-5-2. Try it out. But we don't have a winter break, and that would have been the perfect time to try it out. Winter break, try out a 3-5-2. Did we not try 3-5-2 during one of the summer games? I don't think we did. The early on ones. I can't remember. I don't think we did. Oh, we did, didn't we? I can't remember which one it was, though. But then we went to the 4-3-3 for the Man City and the Chelsea game because Brendan Rodgers treated them like Champions League games. Anyway, we move on. Afternoon Baz says JJB, he's going for 3-0 Celtic. Rio to score 2. Rio to score 2 goals. Will Rio Hatate be on form today on that crappy pitch? I hope so, and I hope he gets the ball in the back of the net. Stephen says, even though all hail from Australia, I think it'll be the usual defensive frustration from Kilmarnock. 2-0 could be more than an early crucial goal. 2 could do it, but I still look at the table, and I think when we look at the table, we need to get the goal difference back up. I mean, Aberdeen took 2 off the goal difference, 3 off the goal difference last night, which got them up to a goal difference of 14. Sorry, I'm just reading the new what's coming on. And a goal difference of 14. We're on a goal difference of 26. I want us to get that up. I want us to try and get us up to about a goal difference around about 30, so that we're that far in front. We are that far in front that when it gets to the tail end of the season, if Aberdeen are still close, there is no disputing the fact that Celtic are top of the table because of the goals. And when it comes to the Champions League, it's just the exact same. We need to be scoring more goals because it's the difference in the Champions League of 2 or 3 positions, going by the number of goals that you've scored. It could be all the difference of scoring. If we score 3 goals a game in the Champions League, that could be all the difference between us staying in, say, 11th position in the Champions League and going up to 8th position in the Champions League. So that's how close it is when it comes to goals, and it matters at this level also. Right, Stephen says, Forrest will retire at Celtic and then become a coach for us. I hope he does. Stephen Brown, I hope he does. I hope that we use the wealth of experience that he has coming through the club. And, I mean, look, if you can give Darren O'Dea a job at the club, James Forrest deserves one. I mean, James Forrest is an absolute legend at Celtic. James Forrest is potentially going to go on to be one of the most decorated players ever at Celtic. One of the most successful players ever. Bobby Lennox, up until a few years ago, was still working and still doing things with Celtic. He was still in and around the club as an ambassador. Roy Aitken came back to Celtic and is now an ambassador with Celtic after many, many years of being working in Dubai. Big Roy was working in Dubai for a lot of years and as an assistant manager. And when he came back to Scotland and retired from the game officially, he become an ambassador at Celtic, and you want your living legends to be in and around the team, And I don't think that James has aspirations. I mean, I don't know. Does he have? I don't think that James Forrest is the type of guy that's going to follow in the footstep of Bruni and such to go into football management and want to manage at the highest level. And he just doesn't come across as that kind of guy. He's quite shy in that respect. But you never know. You never know what he may see his future as. But I hope Celtic do the right thing. They've done the right thing by John Kennedy. I mean, John Kennedy got injured when he was away for Scotland. And then, we kept him on the books till his injury. And once he decided to retire, Celtic Celtic give him a job teaching the youth at the time. You put him on the coaching staff with the youth. I think James Forrest more than deserves that. There's no even disputing it. There's no talking about it. The likes of Peter Lawwell and that. It shouldn't even be a conversation. The only conversation that will happen is like, well, James, you're no longer on your 25 grand a week as a player. You're back down to for $5,000 a month as a coach. And Jamesy Forrest will go, that's fine. He's back into the real world. Do you know what I mean? It's like I'm getting to do what I'm still getting to work for the club. I'm still here. And I think that there's no talking about it at all. Let me just jump back up to the comments. Governs green and white, 3-0 says Kevin. If we sell Taylor and we go out for Alex Baye and young Frame an opportunity, I don't think that Alex Baye will be an option for Celtic next summer. I think he will go back to Barcelona. He's a fantastic player. And I think that we'll one day look back and we'll go, Christ, we had him at Celtic on loan as a youth player. And we'll go, my God, what a player he's turned into be when he's playing for Spain's national team. Get a few of the young lads on the bench. These are the games that should be bleeding them in, says Sinn Féin. Yeah, it should be. I think young Frame should be given an opportunity for definite. Could play 3-5-2 with CCV, Trusty and Scales. That means, and with Kuhn and Johnson playing wing back. Can Alistair Johnson change position like that though? I think that you always need one. When you play a three at the back, you're always going to have one that's got a bit of pace about him. And I think that Alistair Johnston with Trusty and Cameron Carter-Vickers would be a potential for a cracking team, because that allows Alistair Johnson still to get further into the pitch. And what it does as well, tactically, when you've got the five in the midfield and the two up front, right? If you're taking your two wingers, your Kuhn and Dyson that are in the middle of the park, if you're putting them up, that potentially gives you four up front. So then you take Alistair Johnson from the back of the three, and then you plop him in the middle of the park, which has allowed your midfield to move over a bit, your three midfield players, and it allows Alistair Johnson to then come in and play, the way that he's been doing regularly with Celtic just now, mixing it up a bit. And when other opposing teams then see that Celtic have got two strikers, you've got the two wingers coming in for the side, you've got Alistair Johnson popping up in about the front of the box, and you're like, where the hell's he just popped up from? It could be, do you know what? I'm going to download EA Sports and I'm going to try it on EA Sports. And then we might just do some lives, just trying out 3-5-2 and seeing exactly how good Celtic would be playing 3-5-2. But anyway, Monty, he reckons that 3-5-2 with Trusty, Cameron Carter-Vickers and Scales at the back, with Kuhn and Alistair Johnson playing wing back. Two up front would be amazing, as you say, but Brendan doesn't play that way, and hopefully he'll prove us wrong going into defensive class for Europe. Fooled us all, have faith in Brendan. We do have faith in Brendan, but I think domestically you need to have a team that has that ability to mix it up a bit. And I think that over the seasons, from even when Ange Postecoglou was at the club, over the seasons when Ange Postecoglou was at the club, people got used to the way that you play football. People get used to the way that Celtic play. People know that if you have a go at Celtic, there's every chance that they didn't like it, until we played Aberdeen, and Aberdeen played a defensive kind of style, and we demolished them. The Germans played an offensive kind of style, and we managed to demolish them. So, I'm not a football manager. Brendan is. Brendan's the man that's paid the big money to make the big decisions. I just think that it was my own personal, I would like to see that kind of football just tried out at Celtic. But anyway, in Brendan we trust. Patrick says, should never be pulling on that. Should never be playing on that shitty pitch. No, we shouldn't. Rob says, there is a decent American left back, or Canadians. But we've got a right back that's absolutely fantastic. So I wonder if there is. Big Des says, Billy Manrock relegation. Hail from Bournemouth, says Neil. Hail from Bournemouth. I think we will finish the league over 100 points this year. George, I think that this is going to be one of the tightest and highest scoring points tally for a while. Usually when Celtic finish on a really high points tally, the team that are in second are usually about 10 to 15 points behind. I don't think that will happen this season at all. Seeding around 16 clubs finished the 1st to 8th. And the league phase will play, yeah, spoke about that. And then from 9th, we'll play the second teams to play the second leg at home. So interesting. Clubs that finished 1st to 8th phase will play against the winners of the knockout. And that's in the round of 16. Yeah, I know that, but it's how do the ones get to the last round of 16? I don't know if they're home and away. I know when it's in the round of 16, you'll play home and away, but it's the two games that position 9 and 24. It's the two games that they'll play. Are those played home and away, or is that played in the same league format in a similar like the split? Is it going to be played like the split in Scotland, where you've got to try and get the I don't know. We James would go straight into coaching, says Lanky. He wouldn't go straight and go into coaching. Would he not go into coaching with the youth team at Celtic? Lanky, do you not think so? Same goes for the team Baz, the League Cup final. Yep, successfulness everywhere. We should always look after our legends, says Monty. Yes, we should. Danny says he think it'll be 5-0. You think it'll be 5-0. Rob says, I just wish James Forrest would take that coat hanger out of his shirt before he plays. Oh, jeez. Why do we squander money on Tierney for an injury? Why squander money on Tierney? I don't think we will. George says, hi Baz. I'm new to the channel. Give me a mention. Always listen to your channel. Irish George. I live in Greenock. It's nice listening to you. George, welcome to the channel. And it's amazing that folk are still finding the channel just all these years later. But then again, it's only been in this format for about 2 or 3 years now. I can't even remember. But welcome to the channel, George Haggerty. Welcome to the channel, and you're a valued subscriber. I hope you are subscribed. Lanky says, today we will win 3-0. Engels first to score. I've went with Rio Hitate first to score. Carly, who are you going first to score? Lanky, we better, says Carly. Everyone give George Haggerty a big welcome to the channel, because it is a bit of a family on here, and there is quite a lot of. We're trying to make it all inclusive for everyone. I do try to get as many comments from as many people as we can on the channel, and I'm not going to have some fancy software that brings it up just to look like everyone else. But yes, not worth risking Cameron Carter-Vickers on this crappy pitch. Martin says, well, have you got anybody leave? What? Glad this is last season. It's not the last season for the pitch. Kelly are seemingly getting a freebie to keep the pitch next season. It'll be a tight game. We'll sit deep for the first minute. Yeah, Lanky, I think you're right. Kelly will sit deep for the first 30 minutes, and that's why I think that there's every chance that it may be a goal from outside of the box from one of our two midfield players, either Rio Hitate or Callum McGregor, to score the first goal from outside the box in around about the 35th to 40th minutes, because Kelly will have sat back that long and just soak it up, try to hit us on the break, and the team will be known that we better score, because if we don't score before we go in at half time, the manager's just going to not be very happy. So that's what I think will happen. But anyway, you never know. Afternoon all, says Craig. Welcome on board, George. Welcome, George. Getting a lot of love, George. Something today says, excuse me, that's because I've not had a drink in 53 minutes. Schoolboy error. Right, I'm going to jump through the comments. Kuhn from 20 yards, first goal. Why are teams allowed to get away with this pitch? It's ridiculous. I have no idea. Remember, there was a time that Dunfermline had the plastic pitch way back in the day when they were in the SPFL, and they were made to rip the pitch up way back then, due to the fact that, I mean, Dunfermline were a local run club then. I think they were a fan-run club. I can't remember, but they used to rent the pitch out. They used to rent the stadium out so you could play games on it. You could play football on it. And that's how they made a little bit extra income. Kilmarnock, they're at a level where they don't need that kind of extra income. So why are they on a plastic pitch? It shouldn't be allowed at all. Damo Scott says, I've just found the channel. Also, I'd like to say I don't think that we need to buy anybody at all in January, and would like to see a third striker added. Dano, welcome to the channel. Do you think that we should get young Cummins from the B team, should we promote him rather than going out and buying a third choice striker? Because if what does it say to the young players? You know, we've been losing young players like nobody's business over the last couple of years. And I think if we can get the young boy Cummins into the first team and show him this pathway, we do have Darren Ladie as the pathway manager. But if we can give him and Brendan gives him the nod as, look, you're going to be the third choice striker. If any of these two get injured, you're on the bench every game. You'll still get your games in the B team to keep your fitness up, but you'll be training with the first team, do you know? And it's the only way that you're going to do it. We did it at the start of the season. We did it pre-season. You've seen the players that were kind of coming in, and then it tails off again because it's the business end. This is the important part of the season. Brendan Rodgers would get absolutely slated if he was to drop. I mean, if he was to drop Kyogo from that starting team, he would get absolutely slated for it. I mean, who did we drop? You're going to have to drop a midfield player. So you've got McCowan, Bernardo in midfield. You've got Yang on one side. You've got James Forrest on the other side. You've got Alex Baye that covers one position. You've got Ralston covers another position. You know, everyone on that pitch. You would have to drop. It's a hard one. You're going to have to drop a midfield player to then have two strikers on the bench. We don't play with two strikers. And this is why Brendan Rodgers got such a headache trying to convince young players and especially third choice strikers at the club that they're going to get a seat on the bench every week. Because ultimately, if a player's on the bench, he's happy with that. Matt O'Reilly done it for the best part of a year. Matt O'Reilly was on the bench a lot of the time for the first year at Celtic. So I just think that if we can somehow, you're going to have to drop a really important player, but if we can somehow get young Cummins sitting on the bench and knowing that there's going to be two changes, you know, there's going to be two changes. Put Kyogo out on the wing or something. I don't know, but we need to do something, that's for sure. Michael Ross, how are you, Michael? We need reinforcement in January, self-possessions, left back being urgent. Left back being urgent because, well, you know the way that, Michael, you know the way that Celtic will do it as much as I know. Celtic will wait until the very last moment, and as it gets closer to December and it gets halfway through the window, there will be a decision at Celtic Park, and it will be, are you going to sign the new contract? And Greg Taylor will say, nope. And then he'll go, okay, you can get your agent to find you a new club. And he'll not say that to Greg. He'll say, well, we're going to look for another player. So if you want to leave now, it would probably be better if you left now, because that way that you can move on, you can get settled. You've got your young kid coming along, and it gets you in a nice settled environment way before your kids do. And then it allows Celtic to bring someone in. Whether we bring someone in for the youth system or whether we go out and buy someone, that's to be said. Damo says, even if we add a striker from the academy, I just feel that if Adam Ida or Kyogo get injured, we might just be caught a little short in that area. If you go and look at the young boy Cummins, because he's not a shrinking violet. You remember when James Forrest came into the Celtic team? 2 seconds. Try to get a picture of him. See if I can get this image up. See if I can get this. Try to get one ways. Give me 2 seconds. I'll get this picture uploaded of a young Daniel. He's 18. But he's no shrinking violet. Do you know? He's not a wee skinny lad. He isn't a wee skinny lad. So just give me 2 seconds and we'll get this guy up on the screen so that because a lot of you might not know who he is. Image. So I mean, he's not a wee skinny guy, right? And this is Daniel Cummins, and he looks as if he could put himself about a bit. I mean, he's doing fantastically well. He's got good thighs on him. Obviously, puts in the shift and the running. A little bit of body upper strength. You know, he's no shrinking violet, and he looks like he could be a good addition to the team. The academy guys think that this guy is going to be the next big thing. Well, if he's going to be the next big thing, get him into the team, and get him into the team and get him in and around the first team. That's what I think. But anyway, we move on. Where are we? We're at just 36 minutes. We're going to wrap the video up in a minute. Due to the fact that I want to go and get ready for the game, we need to build a couple for the smoke along. The smoke along. A win is a must, says Joe. Lanky says, do people forget that we have a striker that's out on loan? Yes, Johnny Kenny, and he's back next month. In fact, he's back at the end of this month because it's not the end of November. But the team in Ireland want to get him full time. Anyway, Bridget says 100% Baz, we needed our young players on the bench instead of losing them to other clubs. 4-0 Celtic. He's going for Monty. Says Maida is a third choice striker. No need to buy another one. We need a top winger to replace Palmer and a proper left back. Hank says we'll look at Lucky was doing it a few years ago. What? Jesus. Damo says I remember it too well when Forrest came through about the same time as Cal. Yep. I'm breaking into the first team. Johnny Kenny has played Shamrock Rovers in the Europa League and has done well. Yes, he has that, and he's been scoring goals. Mappy says 20,000 closing Baz, you deserve it. Thank you. We are currently sitting on 19,622. Getting there, and it's fantastic if I do it before, and then we beat them, or even if we'd get it for the New Year game, because then I'll just go into meltdown. It'll be the funniest thing ever. It will be the funniest thing ever. And it's just a pity there isn't a game next weekend. That's all I'm saying. It's a pity there's no games in Scotland next weekend. Anyway, right, let me jump through the last lot of the comments. There has been over 3,693 people on the live this afternoon. It's always a good one before. I always get up early and get that on. Ryanair, no, I don't want to see that just now. There's currently 350 on, but we'll be going live straight after the game today. Anybody's going to usual from the south when he thought something later. Catholic Rebels going for 3-0 by half time. Martin Nichols says everyone enjoyed the game. Lanky says don't worry, I'll keep you up to date with everything. Big Des says right Baz and Troops, I'm off for cargo and for the drink along. Chatting the one Celtic fans view community later. Make sure how's the olives, Baz? Don't even talk about it. They've gone. There's about quarter of the olive crop. It's not even. There goes my free olive oil for the year. Yeah, there goes the free olive oil, that's all I say. Tom Courtney says, young players will not get on the bench regularly until there's a gap at the top. Yes, this is true. And Carly says, Des, see you soon. Lanky says, that would do for us if we just won 1-0. And the game was, I want more than a 1-0 today. Brentford United score 8-1, 8-1. Barnstoneworth, where did they even come from? Where did they play? Barnstoneworth United. Anyway, I'll see you right after the game today. Baz, love the way you proofread my chats. I've just got to watch. And I get folk trying to catch me out far too many times. Anyway, put we Rangers to bed, boys. They're not we Rangers, that's Hearts. Anyway, I shall see you straight after the game today. I might jump on just before the end of the game, and depending on the scoreline and if I'm getting too excited. Thank you for the 19,623 subscribers. We're getting there. We're getting up to the 19,700. If we can get up to 19,700 in the next week or so, that would be absolutely fantastic. Anyway, come on, you boys in green. Glasgow's green and white.
Lit. Roll up to the